and he understands the challenges we will face as Social Democrats when we form a government in 2015. I'm getting behind myself there, in 2015. And Ben Donnelly will be part of that because he knows every single salmon that's ever been in the Fraser River I don't think there's a person alive that has swum the length and breadth of the Fraser once, much less twice. And I'm going to be talking later on in my remarks. I did say in my first turn at the microphone that I wouldn't necessarily be speaking for a short time. I'm going to be talking about Mount Folly and the devastation to Hazeltine Creek, Folly Lake, and the potential ramifications for salmon, and no one knows better than Finn about that. Before I get too deeply into it, I see my friend Mabel Elmore from Vancouver, Kensington has just shown up, so Mabel, it's good to see another member of the caucus here today. I want to, Dawn, you've taken the hat off, Dawn. There's 50 more bucks in it.
Okay, it's on.
You know, I'm reminded of the old MasterCard ads where this is worth something or other, that is worth something or other. Seeing Don Black wearing a Victoria Shamrock hat is in fact priceless, and I will be doing something with the photograph. I'm just not sure yet, but someday in the not too distant future it will show up to haunt you. When I was speaking to a collection of supporters in New Westminster, Don fortunately was not there, but there was a big crowd of people back in April, and I said grudgingly that perhaps today we were all salmon bellies, and Don wasn't even there to hear it, so I'll say it again.
I heard about it.
You heard about it. That's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. On the topic of just speak briefly, I'm Irish descendant, as has been, and in 2001, after the government fell and the Huns had come to power in Campbell, and we were on, I used to characterize it as being on the last government building as the helicopters came to take us away, as they did at the end of the Vietnam War in Saigon, and that's kind of how it felt when the Liberals came storming the gates, and were reduced to just the 2 seats. At that time, there was 2 seats in Vancouver, Jenny Kwan and Joy McPhail. And at the same time in Ottawa, there were 2 seats, Libby Davies and Sven Robinson. So think about that for a minute. Think about how far we've come from 2001, where we had 4 New Democrats elected, only 4 New Democrats. 2 in Ottawa, 2 in the legislature of Victoria, and all 4 of them lived about 20 blocks away from each other in downtown Vancouver. So we've come an awfully long way. And when I see the diversity in this room, when I see the elected representatives from Coquitlam, from Westminster, from Port Moody, I'm very excited about our prospects in 2015. And Finn, I think you're going to take it in a walk if we keep working each and every day from now to election time. And I know you're all going to do that. So, 2001, I went to Ireland. I kissed the Blarney Stone, and I've been talking ever since. And in the legislature, we have a speaker who says, after half an hour, you have to sit down now. So I'm going to look at Judy Darcy to make sure that if I get beyond anywhere even close to half an hour, you're going to say, sit down, Don. What I have learned in this business is that the best way to give a presentation is to give it briefly, as we've been trying to do, as Finn has so elegantly said to our 2 previous speakers from Mallardville, Diane and Selena, that Mallardville, I reminded someone at the picnic that if it starts to get dull, just heck on it, I'll dial it up a little bit for you. But what I've learned about speaking to Democrats particularly is that you've got to have something to say, of course. You've got to say it relatively articulately, and you've got to do it with a bit of humor, or people are going to start to move out of the room. I see Tanya or I've lost her and all of her consonants because she has to the mark. I wanted to speak about 2 issues, just to put aside the brief introduction. I want to speak about 2 issues today. I want to speak about public education, primarily because of the travesty of the past 3 months here in British Columbia, where a government deliberately and with intent withheld the rights of children to have access to classrooms and public education. Give me a little shame, to be sure. And I'm very pleased to see so many people stepping up to run for school board positions. I had a discussion with one of the candidates earlier on today who said, what hope do we have if we have a recalcitrant and in fact a belligerent provincial government that doesn't want to make the appropriate investments, not in just in classrooms, but in children. That they want to take money